All right, good morning. It is 6:20 a.m. roughly. I'm back here at Stunt Ranch and in the front yard this time. About, I guess, nearly 100 feet from the truck. You might be able to see it in the dark. And we just got the first couple of buckets going. Actually, the second one's still filling. And these beautiful, large and very stressed live oaks get the water here as we move into sunrise, probably in the next hour. Okay, it's about 7:30 a.m. We're past the halfway point on the water. The tank you can't see is draining faster, so it's a little lower. Beautiful soft morning. Things are boding well for a transpiration shield of some sort today. These leaves are also very scant, but they're present. They're just very dry, so they may not be very effective. But what's interesting about watering trees with the trickle technique is at the trunk, and the hole in the bucket is right up against the root ball. What's interesting about that is it seems to give the system, where it's established, a long soak so that whatever all of the mechanisms that it has are, and I'm pretty convinced at this point the trunk is respirating as well as the leaves. And there's something intangible in between also. Maybe it's through the roots in the soil, or just the relationship with all the microbiology between the soil and the, on the leaves, in the soil, in the air, when I say between the soil and the leaves, and on the leaves. Anyway, you get the idea. There's microbes everywhere, and as they get moist, that may be what moves the air so beautifully. But anyway, session number 2 is up and running, and gonna ride it out. Be done in a couple hours. All right, it's still around 7:30, but the sun just kind of showed us what the morning looks like, and it is definitely greener than yesterday. It's maybe the flush of morning, the blush of morning, whatever that's called. But it's just really quite verdant here and next door. And things are generally starting to look like they've got kind of a relaxed, moist flow in them. Probably hard to see on camera, but anyway, life is good at the moment. Beautiful. All right. Good morning to you. Well, it's about 9:40 in the morning, and we have this crazy sun. But the difference between standing in the sun and just walking right into this long shade of the canopy to here, wow, I'm still eating breakfast. See how scant the leaves are? But these 2 trunks you see right behind me got something like 220 gallons each through trickle watering. And let me show you them. This way you don't have to watch me chew. Just beautiful, beautiful, large, old growth live oaks that are definitely struggling in the drought. They're very yellowed on their leaves, but they're not gray. And now they're flowing. There's just a coolness here. There's darkness in the canopy, even though the leaves are, as I mentioned, scant. And it's gorgeous here under the canopy. Edenic, Eden-like, as in garden of. So It only took a few hours of trickle, and I'm gonna get this one hopefully tonight. Also the one you see here and the one back there. And I have just one more kind of technique to do, but it's been a great morning. Started in the night and finishing in this dark canopy that would have been kind of a brutalized, overly sonified dry land, but instead it's just paradise, as I've kind of said. So, all right, please get 5-gallon buckets, fill them up with, well, put holes in the bottom of them near the rim of the bucket, right at the edge of the bucket, just a little hole, and then put that right up on the trunk so it can drip, drip, drip for about an hour per 5 gallons. It can be a really small hole, and you will see greening and beautification and cooling and all kinds of good things under the canopy. Okay, and for quick notes now at 10 to 10, just finished. I got full water in on this one with slaps at the base and heavy spritz up to the base. Throwing water as high as I could on the trunk. I didn't mess with the leaves, they're too high up. 200 gallons at the trickle, and that seemed like enough. They didn't really, I mean, they want more, but they don't want more because the other ones don't have enough. So they were kind of like, that's good, let's move on. And this one, basically the same story, except it didn't get the full water in. It didn't get the spritzes up. I only got 3 or 4 slaps. So about half of it got the heavy base thing. But again, it's just well, you can see there. It's just transpiration-y right here under the canopy. We've really got something nice. Especially for how dry these things were when I got here. And I did a lot of more notes. I did a lot of beginning, of course, spritzing into the air around the trees. I got a little more onto the trunks and leaves when I was throwing stuff up when I first got here at 6. What else? I just sort of tried to stay with that idea of creating a lush environment around the tree. But there was more of trying to get the whole root ball moistened as well. And this tree got 10 gallons poured around its base plus 5 gallons on 75% of its trunk as a wash. Everything over here got washes before they got the heavy and the throws and everything. Anyway, I can't remember the other detail, but it was just, mixing it up a little bit, having fun a little bit, and also kind of using your senses to adjust the pattern as needed. All right, cheers. It's 10, I'm on my way out. This is the tree I watered mainly last night. It looks very happy today relative to where it was yesterday. And that's the one that was leafless. It's starting to bud out a little bit after getting about 200 gallons. So that's pretty awesome. It's a wrong color, kind of, but man, what a happy bushy tree all of a sudden. Doesn't look strained. Yay. All right, it's nearly 11 a.m. I'm back home, which is just down the road from where I've been watering. And man, it's lovely. There's a smell of moisture in the air. It's supposed to go up to 90 now, not 91 or 92, which doesn't sound that big a deal. But what we also have is 3 days of clouds in the forecast. And this morning and yesterday, it was just full sun. The forecast was full sun forever. So that's, in my experience, that's what happens when it goes well. It feels like it's going well. Everything is kind of holding moist. 90 shouldn't be a great shock. 92 had me more concerned. But if we really do stick around 90, it could be a cool 90, a gentle 90. So yeah, man, we're gonna stay out of the sun and hope that the shade stays strong on the land whenever it's possible. And see how the afternoon goes. I'm gonna go into Austin and then come back at the end of the afternoon here. So it's, I'll miss the main event, but then I'll be back. Okie dokie, it's about 12:30 p.m. I'm driving out of the neighborhood where I live. Everything is kind of resplendent. It is odd because there are so few leaves in some of the places I'm used to not being able to see houses. I can really see through. I'm not sure what to think about that. But anyway, the green is still very present. The softness in the air is still very present. Of course, it could all change by 1:30 or something like that. It could get brutal. But right now it just feels like it's not a good idea to stay in the sun. But it's greener over there. This is where I've been watering. The green is more intense. Way more intense. Wow. Just miraculous every time. Alright, let's keep the camera rolling because now there's a bunch of flowers blooming that weren't this morning. They did start today, I did notice that too, but now we're also about to go past the site. Alright. Can't really see anything at this speed, but anyway, yeah, so softness in the air, heavy sunlight in the air, but as I now leave the neighborhood, the kind of softness is a little less, maybe. And off we go. I'm pulling in the neighborhood at 4 p.m. It is nice and mild. It does not feel hot. It would if you stood still, but the heat shock has been overstated once again, or at least the intervention has done the trick. I think they're both probably true. But this is a soft 90. This is not a high of 90 that makes you hate life. This is a lovely summer day 90 in March. So that's pretty good for 1,000 gallons of water. Pretty good. All right, when I was in Austin earlier today, I was downwind. And now we're upwind. You can see of the watering site, you can see there's a fair amount of green, but there's also just less green overall. We're not in a bad quality of light, but we're still in a harsher quality of light out here on this side of the watering, on the upwind side. It just feels hotter. Even though it's now probably 6 p.m. We're in the descent, the cool part of the day, but it doesn't track that way out here because it's still so brittle in the air. All right, good evening. It's about 7:22 p.m. Saturday over here at the super cool property currently known as Stunt Ranch. And let me show you what we got going. It's just incredibly mild, wonderful weather. This is the third watering here. This morning's watering was on these two beauties. And I'm telling you, it really changed everything in the vicinity and downwind, or it's just another happy coincidence. So this tree got a little bit of water this morning, and now it's getting the full water in tonight. I also am trying to figure out how to get this really spectacular thing. 300 gallons. I've only got 5 total, so they can't both get 300 gallons. But anyway, it's a real pleasure to be here in this weather. This was ballyhooed by the press as, you know, going to be like a scorcher, painful day, and it wasn't. It was a really nice day. Yeah, I'll be done. I guess we're roughly halfway through, time-wise. And so it's 7:30 now. I'll be out of here about 9 p.m. It'll be dark. But again, the greening kind of is spreading. The golden light is really nice. The yellowy leaves are starting to feel softer. The air is just it's as soft as that looks. It's like a satin shawl over your skin. It's a real light layer. It's of coolth. It's really nice. Look at that. Oh, the trees are geniuses. All right, more later. Okay, 7:40 p.m. Look at this color. It's so soft and pretty, and it transitioned. We won the battle. It should be a much milder day tomorrow. Just from these 3 waterings, and I'm gonna do a 4th in the morning before sunrise mostly, so should be a really gorgeous 90 degree or 89 degree day tomorrow instead of 90, whatever they were saying. Thanks to these guys. Right here. There you are. Water, trees, and forests. All right, oops, it's 9:45 p.m. Wrapping up. Can't really see the trees in this light. But yeah, it's time to go home. Pretty much all the buckets are in the truck, just about 10 more to stack. And it's been great, and the weather is ideal. I just keep saying that again and again. That's